Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Absolute WSL and Women's Championship Show. As you can probably see, we're all wearing various iterations of Lucy Bronze because she's going to be one of our key talking points this evening. There was a bit of a delay. We do apologise. That was me. I had a bit of a costume change because I felt left out, so I need to put my Lucy Bronze top on as well. However, enough about me. Chloe Bear, lovely to have you back. How are you? How you been?
Good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. And as well, I'm currently obviously I don't have a Villa flag behind me, but we're redecorating and the office doesn't look great, to be honest. So I thought I'd treat everyone to a nice, lovely memory of a sunny day back when the sun was shining. Do we all remember a time when the sun used to shine? It was quite nice, wasn't it? Yeah. I was going to say, Emma's looking at us like, why did I agree to come back on again? But it's the famous Emma from the chat, Emma with Judy Merry, who graced us with that beautiful answer last week. So if you didn't manage to see it, do go back to last week's quiz. We had a great time. Thank you for coming back. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. We've got people in the chat already. We've got the lovely Simon who says, evening gang. And thank you very much for joining us again as well. Now, I say this every Wednesday, but it genuinely is what I was going to say. Can't believe they left you out. Wait, why? Why am I being left out? What's going on? Oh, yeah, with the England tops. Yeah, I can't believe it. No, didn't get the memo. No one thought to tell us, but I'm back, so it's all good. But yeah, every Wednesday, it seems to be an influx of news. And then whatever I've got planned for the show just kind of goes out the window, really. So good luck to everyone. If you've got anything stronger than juice, probably recommended, because we are going to be talking about some pretty serious topics tonight, as well as some silly ones as well. Now, Real MK has just come in the chat. What's happening with the Women's Championship? Don't worry. We're going to be discussing it. So in fact, let's kick off there, shall we? Now, I've had to put everything in my notes because there is so much going on with this one. Now, it's been a cracking week for some transfer news, but it's also been quite heartbreaking, on the other hand, with some of the comments and news stories that have been coming out, especially from the Women's Championship this week. Now, this podcast, we've championed the championship, as it were. It's such a fantastic league, but the money just isn't there. And the right people also aren't in charge. Now, what we'll do first, we'll go over Blackburn Rovers, and then we'll touch upon Sheffield United as well. So we were all kind of talking about this as soon as it came out, weren't we? And Blackburn Rovers this week made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Now, if you missed it, the lovely Catherine Batts over at Mail Sport posted an article that essentially said, Blackburn will only be paying their players £9,000 a year, which is essentially a 16-hour contract. It will not include travel time or possible overnight stays. The club only has a 100k squad budget. And currently, I don't know if you both knew, Blackburn owners Vengies, excuse me, are also being investigated in India over a tax dispute as well. So the club's foundations itself are very, very rocky. Emma, when this kind of first came out, what were you thinking?
I saw it and I was like, they're literally getting paid less than me and I work 4 hours a week. And it's like, well, they're doing a hell of a lot more work and putting a hell of a lot more time into their work life than I am, yet getting paid so much more less. And I was like, it was just shocking and quite disgusting, actually.
And it is, it's that, isn't it? Because you look at the Women's Super League and you just expect that because of all the revenue that's coming past, and yes, certain players will be making quite a fair bit in comparison. It's still in the Championship and the lower tiers that are, barely getting anything, are they? Chloe, what was your reaction when it first came out?
It's just a bit shocking, innit? Like these are professional players who have had to fight for the right, essentially, to actually play. Like when you just even think like 50 years ago and women's football being banned, like they've had to fight, they've had to pave a way, and it's just really upsetting as a fan. And well, I mean, I can't even imagine how the players are feeling if I feel like this just as a fan of football. It's just And it's not right either. Like, these women are trying to do their job. They're playing. They don't get paid for overnight. You said they don't get overnight stays. They only get it. Oh, I can't even speak. It's just
Yeah.
shocking. And considering you think of the lower tiers as well, most of them have day jobs as well, just to
Yeah.
support them. That's what's going to happen with this. It feels like such a step back from just what we know. Like, it just feels like women's football isn't moving forward; it's going backwards.
And it's so frustrating because as the oldest one on the podcast tonight, I remember back in my day, it was very much pay to play, and you put your own money in, and a lot of us have been in that situation where we've been studying and working at the same time, or we've had multiple jobs, and it does take its toll. Mentally, emotionally, physically, and you just think these are players that are expected to still play as full-time professional athletes, but they're not getting the respect they deserve. They're not getting the money they're deserved. And like you said, Emma, like, you're getting more for, I mean, no offense to you, of course, but they're put essentially on a higher pedestal, aren't they? Because they're these meant to be professional athletes. And it just doesn't make sense at all that they're on minimum wage to do what they're expected to do. And someone commented saying, you'd pay that in petrol for the year. And you would, like, can't even claim mileage with that one. But yeah, it's, I mean, as lovely Chloe said in the chat, there's so much progress and potential, and it's just stalled and rolling downhill. Yeah, absolutely. Simon, you're absolutely right. Venky's have screwed up the men's team, so I'm not surprised they've screwed up with the women's team as well. Yeah, I mean, if you're giving a club 100,000 budget, it's nothing. How are you going to play? Well, play, yeah, but also pay a squad who need the best facilities possible, and you're not providing that comforting, safe space around them, are you? And lots of people were kind of bringing it back to the Karen Carney reports, as we all know it as, and some interesting points in there. So this was published last July? Was it 23? It was published. And in that report, it said the Women's Championship only have to offer and pay at minimum salary 8 hours of contact time. Okay, so that was just last year. Okay. The Women's Super League have to offer a minimum of 20 hours of contact time, excluding match days in both cases. Okay. So even the jump between contact time between the Championship and the Super League, 8 and 20. And you look at the Championship and you wonder why teams yo-yo. They're good enough to win the Championship, and the gap is so massive between Championship and the WSL. Chloe, if it was up to you, what do you think you would do to sort it out? What does it need? Or what can Newco possibly do? Not that we know anything about Newco, but what do you think? What could be a starting point?
We know nothing about Newco. I hope, well, first off, you'd start by getting them, like, you'd think about sorting like a proper schedule, a proper contract, like just a proper order of things. All right, this is what we're going to do. And you'd sort out a billing order before you do anything else, wouldn't you? Like, this is how much you're going to pay them for the services. This is what we're going to do. You just set out a key plan and go from there, because it's just shocking. It's just not on.
And it's the fact that, so again, go back to the Karen Carney report, which is like a Bible. Okay, if no one's read it, please do. There's so much valuable information in there. So what they also did, I don't know if either of you two read it when it came out. Her and the team of experts that were doing it, they essentially costed what it would take. Not right away, but kind of gradually. So from this season, the 24-25 season, and then beyond, what it would take to expand the teams, help support them. And I think it was something like an extra $9,000 for an actual club physio. Because remember, it came out that hardly any clubs had like a proper club doctor and a club physio and like a nutritionist. And it was like, but it's sport. Like, we all did science at school. We all know how important nutrition is and the body is. For looking after yourself, especially to those levels. But yeah, so it's about contact time in this report. And they also said what was recommended was a salary floor. Okay. And I know in football, we talk a lot about having a wage cap. So these teams can't just buy all the good players in and things like that. But an actual salary floor. Okay. So the minimum that you have to pay a player. Now, in some countries, so for example, the US, Italy, Spain, Australia, they have a minimum a player can be paid. Okay. Now, again, this was from last year. The average salary in the Women's Super League was between 25 and 27,000. Okay. So you'd expect that hopefully for an average job, wouldn't you? Between 25, 27,000. In the US, their minimum is 28,500. Okay. And looking at one of the FIFA Pro reports that they released, some of them, of course, some are earning double, quadruple that as well. But Emma, even on that, should like kind of the stars that we see in the Women's Super League, they're still on like a normal salary. What do you think about that when the numbers actually kind of you're faced with the real numbers of it?
Well, that's still like, I've done a degree and I'll probably be paid that sort of amount when I start teaching. So it's like, I've done a whole degree and worked towards that, and I'm still getting paid the same amount as, I don't know, let's say Freya Gregory. Like, that doesn't make sense considering she probably does a lot more work and has to think about her work a lot more because she has to think about her nutrition.
But no, I know what you mean.
I don't know. I just can't get my head around it.
It's just mad that, especially maybe newer fans of the sport as well, who've maybe come after the Euros and think, well, you know, they're celebrities now, essentially. Like, you know, they're superstars of the game there. And of course, incredibly talented. Like, let's not forget about that aspect of it. But for the talent and the money in the game, it's a reality, isn't it? That actually these players, that there's not the money there. The clubs don't have the money. And there was even one horrendous comment. Let me get it. So it was a tweet. So if people are on Twitter, this is usually where everything kicks off and everything comes to light. And it said, one of the tweets says, again, this is still on Blackburn Rovers. Where was it? Yeah, how poor the facilities were. Not being able to share the facilities with the men, including things like the canteen, the coffee machine, etc., until the men had gone home. So they couldn't even share that space. And then when they had a meeting with one of the heads of the football, one of the directors, about the budget and said, look, this 100K just isn't going anywhere. He said the phrase, and let me get this wording right, we were told to be grateful for the 100,000 that we had. They were told to be grateful. Chloe, what do you think of that wording?
It's just awful, isn't it?
There's just no words, is there?
It's genuinely terrible. Like it's again saying what I said before. These are like elite sportswomen. The least they deserve is a decent facility. Like, you're looking at the likes now of, you know, like Arsenal, Man City, Everton, previously Liverpool. Like, they all managed to ground share perfectly for training grounds. Like, why? It's just why, like, it's generally just awful, such an awful situation, and you really feel for the players and the staff.
And I think it's more the fact as well, and Emma, I don't know what you think about this, but it's very much like women's football has been in the dark for so long that these people have just been able to get to the top and get away with it because no one's been watching, and I say no one watching as in like head office or anything like that, and no one's cared. So when it comes to things like social media, and again, we've got so much more to discuss, but Emma, are you glad kind of social media exists now so these stories can come to light?
Yeah, because we'd still be on the same path otherwise, with no one knowing, and the players would still be treated poorly, which is just disgusting.
Yeah, because we've seen, you know, people who've been too scared to speak out. And we see that kind of in general in everyday life. But also within these environments, they are so toxic. And unfortunately, we've seen the horrendous aspect of it, of what it can ultimately lead to if you feel like there's no other way out. And again, looking at there's just so many tweets. But there was one, Georgia Stanway even got involved. Because her, Ella Toon, Kira Walsh, they've all spent time at Blackburn. They developed through there. And George Stanway put, myself and so many others are indebted to the opportunities Blackburn gave us when we were younger. Very sad to see the club choosing not to back their women's team. Football and people in the Northwest need Blackburn to continue to properly support the game. And she's absolutely right. Because they're not just the only ones, but there are some clubs, they will shout till the cows come home about, hey, remember that one player we had that was successful 30 years ago? And it's like, yeah, but what are you doing for your team now? Like, what are you putting into place? And Sophie's just put in the chat there, apparently Blackburn women had to share. Yeah, that was it. So the facilities that they also shared were 2 portaloos with the entire boys' academy as well. So there wasn't even like proper toilet blocks, proper facilities. It was 2 portaloos with the boys' academy. Now, I appreciate we are all women on the podcast, but we've all shared a toilet with a man at some point, and they're minging. Yeah, and boys, and as a previous teacher, boys are even worse, especially when they're that young. So you imagine being women now having to share toilets with all of the boys' academy. It's degrading, isn't it? And it's just, again, you're expecting these women to play at a certain standard and you're not giving them a platform in order to do it. So that kind of came up about Blackburn, and rightly so. Everyone was completely flabbergasted, which is a great word, by the way, about how this could be let to happen. But then we're all aware of Sheffield United and their plight the last season or so, and how horrible it's been for the players. Now, Catherine Batt, again, she's had a cracking week. And we will just give her a shout out, actually, and Tom Gary, for maybe releasing these stories that are quite uncomfortable and they're not easy ones to write. So the fact that they're doing it and they're bringing these stories to light, and we can't thank them enough. So please keep doing it, and we'll keep talking about it as well. Now, has my screen frozen? Anyone? Yeah, thought so. For some reason, my laptop just hates me recently, but it might be coming back. It might be, maybe. Nope, nothing. Okay, can you hear me though? That is the main question. Yeah. Okay, right. I will keep talking. If it does go, hopefully it'll come back incredibly soon. Right. Okay. So Sheffield United then. Catherine Batt also released an article that said Sheffield United only have 2 contracted players for the new season. Now, I can't see reactions, but Emma, what do you think about that? Like the fact they've only got 2 contracted players?
That really shocked me, because as a Villa fan, we were so panicked that we've not done anything in the transfer window as of yet, really. And we've only had 4 contract extensions, yet they've got 2 players. And it's like I think their preseason was meant to start today as well. So that just shows how worrying it is, because none of the players know anything about next season, which is vile.
Absolutely. And we've had, reports come out as well that, yes, they've only got 2 players signed, but apparently some players haven't even been in contact with the club. Or should I say the club hasn't been in contact with the players since April. Okay, we're now in July. And as you said, pre-season was meant to start, and it hasn't. It's had to be delayed because they've just got nothing in place. Now, this usually comes back by now. So what I might have to do, I don't know if I leave, if it takes the whole thing with it. What were we saying about Team Chaos earlier as well? Let's Let's have a look. Oh, the rest of it's working fine. It's just Chrome. Okay, brilliant. So what we can do is, let's have a look. Okay, we'll finish talking about Sheffield and then we'll see if it still hasn't come back yet, what I can do. So essentially, so like Emma said, it's people that, they've got mortgages, they've got rent to pay, and they don't know, am I needed, am I not? Do I have to look for another club? Do I need to get, my manager involved to help look for something? Players also haven't been told their salaries for next season, which again, once Blackburn's has come out, will they be on right about the same? Will it be less? But also, 2 players have announced that they're leaving the club, but the club hasn't said anything. Chloe, what does that tell you about maybe the relationships at the club with Sheffield at the moment?
It's a bit rocky of Sheffield, isn't it? Like, I mean, again, that's just not like acceptable, and it should not be happening in this day of age with not even knowing like if you're going to be contracted, if you should start looking elsewhere, if you should, like you said, you should start making other arrangements and plans. The fact that they've got 2 players contracted as well out of like however many they had last season, it's Sheffield's just a bit of a mess, and they're not a bad side either. Like they're pretty decent. So it's just a shame that it's all kind of come like tumbling down, because it's just I just think they need to pull the socks up, get the big girl pants on, and just kind of sort it out, really.
Yeah, someone needs to come in and be like, right, this is awful. I mean, some people have said they still don't have a manager because obviously the awful situation with Jonathan Morgan. That might be slowing things down, but surely their interim boss, what was his name? Was it Luke Turner? Surely he could have conversations with some of the higher ups and say, look, this is what we need. This is what we're going to do next. We need to sort something out. And speaking of sorting something out, everything's not working. So apologies to everyone on the podcast. What I'm going to have to do is, because I can't keep this up, I might have to close everything, and then hopefully the stream will pop back up. But hopefully it might just force me out and you 2 can keep talking. Okay, so I'll set you off. So Sophie Barker and Bex Rayner have both said they're leaving the club without any official communication. So what I will do, I will pause that there. Let me try and force quit this. And hopefully I will be back momentarily.
Oh God, it wouldn't be a Wednesday podcast without this, would it?
Yeah, that's true. It's usually Paul, but obviously Paul's not here, so
just when in doubt, just blame Paul. we love you really, Paul. No personal. Oh, the drama, the fun. No, I do think that something does need to change for Sheffield, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, is she back?
No. I did it. What happened when I left? Did someone else take over, or did it just kind of?
Well, we just had a chat about that. I was normally Paul who causes the chaos at this time.
Well, if Paul's not available, oh well, look, he is. Hello.
He knows his pants.
Yeah, Paul, I've got your internet connection for the nightmare. It's not working. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you. Now, I'm just going to have a look through chat and see what I've missed, if any good comments are coming through. But yeah, I apologies for that, everyone. But I just had, the circle of doom. It just keeps loading, and it just doesn't give you anything else. Let's come back to this one. Yeah, London City Lionesses on it is what every club needs. Now, we had a bit of a discussion about this, didn't we? Because some people think multi-club ownership shouldn't be the right way to go, and maybe in the men's game, no. Emma, have you got any thoughts on that? Kind of what Michelle Kang's doing for the women's game? Do Do you like it? Do you not? Do you? Yeah. What do you think?
I think she's doing wonders for London City. Like
Wonders.
she's made all those really good signings, and there was something about a training facility I saw last week as well. Am I right?
Yes, so they've bought so the moved stadium completely to Bromley. It's Bromley, isn't it? Yeah, it's Bromley. And they've also bought a brand new training facility that they're going to have exclusive use of, I believe. And I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, the fact that she's putting so much money into it. But yeah, in the chats, if anyone's got any other ways, of course, Paul, got you here. Franchise FC is not the way. But why, Paul? Tell us why, unless you're going to save it for next week. We'll have a good chat. Camilla, hello. Thank you for joining us. And welcome back to Team Chaos. But I am here. It is all good. Sorry, Matthew. It's not the Emma and Chloe show. You had 5 minutes of them, but unfortunately, I have come to ruin the party. Now, where were we? Let's get my notes back up, shall we? Okay, so Sophie Barker and Bex Reina have announced on Twitter they're leaving the club, and it genuinely sounds like being there is not something that they can do anymore. That it's purely it's just too hard, and you can't blame them at all for everything that's happening. But yeah, the fact that the club haven't said anything is bad. And if anyone's following my transfer tracker as well, no, is Emma having problems?
No. Boy, Team Chaos.
We genuinely are. Chloe, if you'd like to have a bit of an internet breakdown as well at some point, feel free. Then we've had one each. It's a Freya and Chloe show now. Hello. Oh dear. Right. Okay. But Chloe has put, if it encourages more investment in the near future, then surely that's a good thing. Yeah. I'm purely of the mindset that women's football at the minute is very much like, and I know Camilla said this before as well, it's very much like a startup business. No one is expecting a women's club to be making, to be kind of making money. There should be some sort of return on investment, whether how small or large that is. Hey, she's back. But at the moment, with any kind of new business, within the first, 2, 3, 5 years, you're not really expected to make that much of a profit. You're doing well if you break even, and you've got to spend the money to make the money. And as we've seen with a lot of these clubs, they're not willing to spend it, and that is the issue. So yeah, I think what Michelle Kang's doing at the minute and saying, look, this is what this team needs, because we've all kind of had a laugh and a joke about the Lionesses, London City Lionesses, I should say, not the England ones. And, you know, Paul, we've all kind of joked as well, like there's no fans, like there's no fan base. It's a completely neutral, a neutral team that hasn't got that history, but you need to be able to get them somehow. And if you're showing that you're putting the investment there, you're putting the roots there, you're giving it a system, you're essentially rebuilding it from the ground up, aren't they? Chloe, were you happy that she's kind of the training facilities there, the new stadiums there, like they're trying to make amends for the last couple of seasons?
I was just about to say that, you know, it feels like they're creating a new team and like a new, I mean, I'm aware it's like the same London City.
A new identity, almost.
A new identity, like
Yeah.
a new, like she's like Hang's trying to build her own team, if you get me, like new facilities, new players, new. Oh bless. Was there something I said?
She doesn't like what you said about investment, no.
But like, you know, new players, new manager, new training facility, new technically investors, new management, just new everything. And it just feels like a completely new London City. The only thing they're missing is a name change, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like, I think I might be one of the only people who is for it and who is like gonna enjoy it, because I do think it is a step forward for them, and I think it is really going to benefit them in the long run. I think it's going to be one of those where it is going to take like a couple of games to get used to. You know, like when you have new players and you don't really gel at first. You've got to have a trial and run error about that.
Yeah,
And
I'm just laughing at the thing of Mark Skinner about why he doesn't play players. They haven't adapted yet.
just go for a week in the mountains and team build. It'll be fine.
Exactly. Have hot chocolate in a yurt. You know, that's exactly how you do it, don't you? Yeah.
Have stories around the fire.
We should be in charge. There we go. Right.
Go for a week in mountains. But yeah, no, I'm very excited about the direction London City's going, and I'm quite excited to see them.
Me too. See what we do, because we saw even what Remy Allen could do in the last couple of weeks, didn't we? Like, she completely revitalized them. So the fact that they've got this brand new coaching, they've got Kosovari Asllani to come in.
That's mental.
That wasn't announced last week, was it, when we were on the pod?
Not on the pod. I think it was announced the day after at the all the press conferences.
Which was quite rude, really, wasn't it? The day after the pod.
Oh,
but yeah, how, for people that don't maybe know kind of Asllani, not a history, but how much of a big deal is that for Asllani to come to London City?
It is incredibly big. Like, when it was announced she was leaving her previous club, we all went, oh, which WSL club is she going to go to? Is she going to go to Arsenal? Is she going to go to Chelsea? Because if they've got Swedes, they're like, is she going to go to a WSL club that's got like other Swedish players, or is she going to go to like one of the lower WSL clubs? Like, where's she going to go? And then it was announced London City, and we all just kind of went, oh.
Didn't have that on the bingo card.
Like, let me see. Okay. You. That's where I wouldn't have gone, but you do you, girl. You go for that. She's good, and I think she's going to get London City places. You know, they could potentially be playing for a place in WSL next season.
I mean, Camilla's arguing. I wouldn't count too much on her, but we will see. We will see what she does. I mean, we've got plenty to say about what fans are saying about aging players, but that's all to come. Don't worry. Now, Matthew, where was your comment? Here. I do like what's happening at London City and the investment, but I hope they see it through to the end and not paving over the cracks. Yes, good. Because what we don't want in a couple of years is for them to go, oh, actually, it's not what we expected. Let's bail out. Let's get someone else in who's then just going to kind of leave it to crumble and rumble and all these things. But yeah, what Chris has rightly said. Good evening, Chris. Thank you for joining us. The majority of teams in the Women's Championship don't have the finance in place to even consider promotion. Yes, exactly. The systems aren't in place. And I think Paul said it somewhere, that, you know, this should be Newcall's problem. Challenge. Let's go for challenge. That's more positive language, isn't it? That they should be looking at this and going, right, we need a plan in place. And again, going back to the Karen Carney report, she said, look, at the moment, there can't be a salary floor for the Women's Championship because there's not enough funding, there's not enough revenue in place. But once that is in place and it's more sustainable, then they can input this salary floor in the longer term as well. Because all we want is for our players to be looked after, don't we? And get given what they deserve. Sophie's in there as well. Return on investment in women's football is predicted at a ridiculously high percentage right now. Yeah, it is. And again, Sophie, you can correct me on this one, but I think it's very much club players. Like, if you've got the right players and the right faces in the right area, I mean, we'll talk about Arsenal and their marketing in a minute, but you look at their marketing and you just think that's why the Emirates are selling out when they go to the Emirates. And again, we'll talk about media and Villa, Emma. We can talk about that in a minute. Paul has put in the chat, no London City Lionesses fan knows who Asllani is. It's like Lionel Messi joining MK Dons for a few quid on retirement. See, when Paul's not on, you still get his one-liners. You still get his lovely comparisons in there. And Camilla, Sophie's arguing with you here. Asllani is 2 years younger than Rachel Williams. Hey, we you know, power of Rachel Williams. And still an absolute terror in the box. I can't wait, to be honest, about that. I think it's going to be great. Now, lots of issues with funding, and we just really, really hope that something changes. Whether that's the clubs themselves, whether it's committees, whether it's the players. But yeah, something needs to start, especially with Newco coming in. And we keep talking about Newco. So it doesn't have a title yet, this company, hence Newco. I think we've been told about 3 people that work there so far. And we don't know anything else. So we're putting a lot on Newco. Putting the world on. Yeah, Sophie, we're getting there. Don't worry. But yeah, so what we hope is that the championship, whoever gets promotion, they can at least compare, they can at least compete, they can at least fight for a spot in the WSL. And it's not a Bristol. Last time. Simon's put a pound in the swear jar for referring to MK as yeah, okay. We can indeed. But don't worry, we won't be talking about them again, Simon, so it's all good. Now, I believe, is that everything I wanted to say on the serious issues? No, it wasn't. Right, okay. So they're the big 2 kind of England-based. Now, there was one, and thank you to Camilla and Rosie in our chat for this one. So do we all remember when Casey Stoney was essentially let go from San Diego Wave? Was that just last week? Was it the week before?
It feels like a while ago, but I don't think it was. I think it was last week.
This week has felt like a year. So essentially, there's someone on Twitter, and again, this is a personal story. There's been no kind of official statements from the club or anything, but this is a breaking story. So someone called Brittany Alvarado, and she was, let me get this, former video and creative manager at San Diego Wave. Yeah, so if you thought be quiet, hang on to your hats. Wait till you get this one. Now, so Brittany has tweeted and she said, "For those who have endured abuse, for those who are afraid to speak up, I see you and I will fight for you. This is for you. The time for accountability in the NWSL is now." Okay, so that was the caption that came along with it. So she goes into it and essentially there's a big, bold statement at the top. And it says, "The NWSL must take immediate action to remove Jill Ellis from both the San Diego Wave and the league entirely to finally protect the staff and players they have neglected and ignored for far too long." Now, Jill Ellis, for those who don't know, so she's the owner, I believe, of San Diego Wave. So kind of everything has to go through her. And essentially, it's this culture, very toxic, that's been going on for a lot of years within San Diego Wave. See, Sophie, and you should have been on the pod with us tonight. So there's been an official thing about 20 minutes ago, and she's so good, she's even sent it to me. Isn't she a good egg? Right. Let's have a look. So they've said, and this is official club statement. I don't know if anyone can see me phone. No, because I've got a green screen on. Right. San Diego Wave has been made aware of a recent social media post by a former employee that contains inaccurate and defamatory statements about the club. Not only does the post contain a fabricated email, but the claims made therein are categorically false, including the ones directed at our president, Jill Ellis. San Diego Wave is currently reviewing the situation and intends to pursue all legal avenues available to appropriately address this matter. Okay. Now, for some perspective, so thank you again for that, Sophie. Brittany essentially came out and said that the league has failed to fully address and implement recommendations from the Sally Yates report, which was a joint investigation in 2022. Every day of inaction further validates the dangerous illusion that the NWSL has properly addressed the pervasive issue of abusive leadership. Jill Ellis has no place in the game, has been excused for far too long. Now, yeah, you can imagine. I will say the statement is not going down well on Twitter. No. Charlotte, thank you very much. San Diego's statement on the allegations was interesting. Yeah. And Camilla, of course, they said that. of course, to try and do that. So this is from Brittany's tweet. Despite my unwavering dedication to my job and the sport of women's soccer, I found myself trapped in an environment where my mental health was relentlessly compromised. It became agonizingly clear that to protect my well-being, I had no choice but to walk away from my dream job with Wave FC. Resigning wasn't merely a professional decision, it was a gut-wrenching personal sacrifice to prioritize my mental health over the career path I'd poured my heart and soul into. Silence is complicity, and I'm speaking out to ensure that current and future staff members and players at San Diego Wave do not have to be burdened by the same experiences that I did. It's time for accountability and decisive action to safeguard the well-being of everyone involved in this sport. Yours sincerely. Emma, when someone feels the need to write a statement like that, it's people have got to listen, right? And take note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. What kind of, because there was some powerful language in there. So kind of what do you think about the whole situation?
I mean, I'm completely shocked about the whole situation, and I was unaware of it until you told us just before we started. There's no words, really.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's just, it's like, nothing.
Yeah, like, because we had it, of course, with Sheffield United last season, didn't we? And all of the horrendous stuff that was coming out about that. Chloe, I know I've just, again, sorry to both of you, I've just read that out at you. Chloe, because obviously we talked about Casey Stoney and everything going on there. We felt something was a bit off at the Wave for getting rid of Casey Stoney. What did you make of this story as it's come out?
Again, you've just not got words for it. The message that San Diego have put out feels very like AI. Like it feels very we have to release a statement, this is it, we've created it with AI type thing. And because we were, and like last week, we were all shocked about the Casey Stoney thing. We all kind of went, what do you mean she's gone? Like what she did for that team. Yeah, they haven't won the season, but normally give managers a lot longer than that to prove themselves. It's like, it just seems like such a awful situation for everyone involved, like Casey Stoney, the players, the backroom staff, the team. Like it's a situation you don't want to put on anyone because it's just awful. But there is something happening, and these are the things that do need to be addressed. Like they're not nice to hear, they're hard to hear, but
yeah,
it's happening, and the stories need to be heard. And I just think someone just needs to take accountability for it, because that's the type of thing that you wouldn't really make up that was happening.
No. And it's, again, we're talking about social media, weren't we? Like, it's very much, social media can be a brilliant place, it can be a horrendous place, but in times like this, to get a message out, once it's out there, you then can't go back, whether for good or for bad. So the fact that now we're all talking about it, millions of people have seen it. I will just say there is someone else who's contributed to this. There is a trigger warning on this about mental health, self-harming. So just to warn everyone, if you do need to switch over for about a couple of minutes. Someone else has retweeted it and added on, I was placed on suicide watch during my tenure with the Wave in 2022. I begged for help while my mental health declined rapidly, but was pressured to resign instead. After a failed attempt, I left to save myself, and it breaks my heart that nothing has changed in the past 2 years. And you just think that is so incredibly brave for her to say that. And as Paul said in there, it's incredibly brave from Brittany to start it and taking on Jill Ellis. I mean, she's ex-women's national team coach, I believe, as well. Like she's got power, she's got influence. So to be able to name her specifically and not just say the club and specifically her, it's an incredibly brave thing to do. So we'll keep everyone kind of updated on the story. But the coming out of it, all of the wording is really, really emotive. And Camilla as well. sent me another message. So in the comments as well. There's a picture. So the fabricated email says, 10 days after my resignation, I received this email from a senior leadership member. These are the exact behaviours and personnel that have been consistently enabled under Ellis's presidency. The subject heading is pathetic. And it says, you are the most pathetic person I've ever met. You must have no sense of work ethic or integrity. We are ecstatic you are no longer with the club. And it's been blanked out kind of who sent it. But again, that wording, like we've all been around, you know, workplaces that aren't great, and maybe people who aren't great, but to have that sent to you after you've resigned, after you thought you've got away from it, that's just like toxic beyond belief. But yeah, it's very much there is something rotten and toxic in women's football still, not just in San Diego, not just in the championship, but what we need to do now kind of as a collective, as a women's football community, is to, you know, when these stories are there, they need to be heard, they need to be spread. We need to tell everyone about it. So hopefully, if again, alleged, we don't know, but these people who should not be at the top, they need to be gone and they need to get out. And hopefully, when we all come together, because we are much stronger together than we are apart, despite who we support as teams, we need to fight against it, because women's football is so much better than this, and so much better than these horrendous people at the top. So I will get off my soapbox now. But that was my 10 pence. And thank you very much, local pundit. Thank you very much. Just dropping in, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. But yeah, any of these tough topics, we know they can be very, very hard, but we will keep talking about them because they do need to be said. Now, moving on to something slightly lighter. Let's talk about some transfer news, shall we? So it's been a mad old week. Now, I've got a list. We'll pick out some key ones to talk about. And then if we've missed any, then if anything else caught anyone else's attention, we will be talking about the Lucy Bronze rumour, hence all of our shirts, if you did miss the intro, and a couple of other ones too. Now, some clubs, I have to say, have been absolutely smashing these announcements. West Ham and Arsenal, cracking. I don't know who West Ham's social media team are, but they've upped their game and they've been incredible. So well done, West Ham. Keep on going. But they had the news that it was about 6 or 7 key starters were leaving, weren't they? And I think we kind of all went, really? And one of them was, of course, Mackenzie Arnold. Not announced where she's going yet. Anyone, any thoughts? Will she stay in the WSL? Will she go? Will she? What do we think?
I mean, I'm currently trying to rack my brain about what clubs need to keep her. Like, I was quite shocked to see Mackenzie Arnold leaving West Ham, because I thought she'd been pretty decent. She was captain. I'm hoping she stays in the WSL, because I think she's good. I think she deserves it. But I'm racking my head trying to figure out where. If she goes to United, then I'm leaving. Like, they're the only team I can think of who could potentially need a keeper. But yes.
I mean, Villa need one, but that's
you can go there happily.
But people said when she first signed for West Ham, they were like, "Really? You gone to West Ham?" But like you said, she's made a good go of it. She's been good. She just needs like another that type of club, maybe a bit further up table, maybe. But yeah, it's a weird one. I'll be really interested to see where she goes. But her leaver message was very much, it was a really tough decision to move on and things. So I don't know, maybe a new contract wasn't offered. Obviously, I don't know that. But yeah, or maybe it wasn't what she expected, maybe. But yeah, one to watch on that one, Mackenzie Arnold. They have, though, announced, and I will get this right, Kinga Shemik, who's come over from Stade de Reims in the French league. She's 6 foot. She's 6 foot tall. is Shemek. So yeah, cracking goalie. I think they've made a nice little signing there, have West Ham. And she seems really lovely. Just from her video, she seems very nice. But yeah, so it'd be really interesting to see more of her. Because I haven't really seen much of her, heard much of her. So yeah, it's really interesting to see her. Liverpool made a statement signing. Canadian international Olivia Smith, club record fee. Emma, I can see you nodding there. We're happy with that signing.
I mean, it was a shocker. That wasn't one I was expecting, to be honest. But fair play to them. They smashed it this season. So I think they're only hoping to smash it again. So,
and it shows intent, doesn't it, from Matt Beard? Being like, you know what? We finished so high last season. Let's see if we can get even higher. But some stats on Olivia Smith, if you don't know her, I believe she's the youngest Canadian to make a debut at like 15 years and like 91 days or something daft like that. Her last season, she was at Sporting CP, I believe, in 18 appearances, 13 goals, 9 assists. In 18 appearances. So yeah, Matt Beard knows.
Oh, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Good old Beardy. We said he was good last season when he got manager of the season. Yeah, Sophie's absolutely right. Liverpool are determined not to do a Spurs Villa. Yeah. Let's talk about that in a minute. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They are determined to keep up that top end of the table, and who is to blame them? Now, next one. Where should we go next? Arsenal. They even got Alex Ibetheta in on the announcement videos as well, which I thought was quite cool, to announce Mariona Caldense from Barcelona. What do we both think of Mariona? Have you seen much of her? Has she got a reputation to uphold? How will she fit in at Arsenal, do you think, Chloe? You excited?
I'm very excited to see her at Arsenal. Like, I rated her so highly last season. Like, I thought she was incredible, and I'm very, very excited to see how she gets on at Arsenal. I particularly liked in her video when she got to meet Win, the dog.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit obsessed with that dog, I can't lie. I think, can we just also talk about the Arsenal rehab dog? Because she's just amazing. Like, it's just to help the players get through the rehab, the recovery. They just bring the dog in. I'm like, oh yes. Can we just get a dog for all clubs, please? Because I feel like that does help. It might not. I might be making things up, but
it does, like an emotional support animal. Yeah, absolutely.
Win, the little emotional support Labrador, it's just cute and a really good addition, I'd say, because I think it does help. Like, you see what they do, like the therapy dogs and therapy animals. Like, Win's essentially like that. She's just a little Arsenal therapy dog for both the men and the women's team, and I just really like it.
And I do love that they did a kind of her welcome to Arsenal video, and then before meeting the players, again, correct me if I'm wrong, it showed Mariona meeting Win.
Yeah.
Before the players, it was like, right, here is the scale of importance. Say hello, and then say hello to the pup. Like,
I mean, I know where my priorities would lie.
Oh yeah, I'd be straight to the dog.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A petition for an absolute football podcast dog. I have one. I can bring him in. He's an absolute nightmare. But I could definitely bring Stormy Boy in. He was in earlier. So people don't know I also tutor. Just tutoring, quite serious. The door at the minute, the handle's sticking, so it's not closing properly. He got the zoomies, zoomed up the stairs, through the door, and onto my knee. Now, I don't know if anyone has ever felt the weight of a staffy, but he's quite a heavy boy. It just suddenly appear out of nowhere. So technically we can have a podcast dog, absolutely. Okay, so Liverpool making cracking moves, and so are Arsenal. Just a moment on Arsenal's marketing. They had the cast of I Kissed a Girl on the Arsenal Pride float. Their marketing team needs a raise, okay?
sorry, like genuinely, when I saw that, because I sent it by my friend Hannah, who is a big fan of I Kissed a Girl and Arsenal, and she went, "Is this the I Kissed a Girl cast?" I looked at her and went, "Yeah, it is. Why are they?" I didn't even know half of them were Arsenal fans because it was practically the entire cast, and I'm like, "What? What?" The crossover I did not know I needed.
Yeah, because Georgia plays for rugby, doesn't she? Rugby borough.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was traitor for the day, put an Arsenal shirt on.
I mean, I mean, to be fair play to them getting them for London Pride, but it was also just a what on earth moment. Like,
they know their audience.
100%.
It's like, who should we put on that open top bus?
And it worked because people were talking about it. It was all over my social media. So it was like, oh, this has worked.
We're talking about it right now. So in fact, a plea to any of the Kiss to Girl girls, Kiss to Girl cast, I should say, that's much more professional. If you want to come on the podcast and have a chat about it and what kind of went into that conversation, give us a shout and we'll get you on. Now, let's have a look what Sophie said. The fact that George Roberts was in the championship last year and only isn't in the championship because Durham said if she left a film, she wasn't allowed to play in the championship. Oh,
wow.
Well, priorities. But yeah, I mean, I think it's worked out quite well for her, to be honest.
Her team have now moved leagues, so they're going to be in the same league as like Derby and Liverpool Feds, and because of
they
the
moved
way
across, didn't they? They went laterally.
I don't really understand how. I mean, I'm not good at geography, so that's probably the reason why. But I don't really understand the difference between like the northern and southern tier. Like, well, I know the difference, but I don't know the difference because I don't understand how it works like geologically.
Geographically.
yeah, that one. I just don't understand geography. Okay, leave me alone. But you know what I mean? Like, what?
Geology's wrong. Okay, so some places in the north are in the Northern League. Places in the south are in the Southern League. But yeah, no, so it's same tier. It's just split over north and south.
Yeah, but it's also just the part I don't think I understand is what clarifies a team to be like northern and southern. Like if you've got like rugby have had to move to the other side because
I think it's
come down, like that's the bit that confuses me.
Yeah, so I think again, anyone in the chat, if you know more than us, but as far as I'm aware, because you've got a certain amount of teams in each like regional league, if say someone gets I was going to say demoted, no, relegated, and then promoted, and then the numbers are off, you can go laterally. So it's kind of just a bit of a shuffle. It's
weird, isn't it?
I mean, a little bit, yeah. But now, if you're in the middle, how's that work? I assume you mean about the football, Sean. Middle of the country, I assume. There's like I'm going to have to get the tier pyramid up now.
Well, I know because I was at sounds like I was playing, but I worked for Derby last season during my undergrad, and that made me laugh because they played Nottingham, obviously, which is like next door Southern. But then they came to the north and they played Burnley and Fylde and Chorley, which I would all class as northern. But
I mean, they are northern, not as northern as me, but they are northern. Right, okay. Where's me picture? Hang on.
And these are the important conversations we should be having. What counts as northern and southern?
But it is right. Women's football pyramid. I mean, this is 23 to 24. Okay, so it's so confusing.
It's so confusing.
No, there's a really good pyramid. I'm really annoyed. I was using it for my blog before, and now I can't find it. But essentially, your tiers. See, and this is the thing, right? I'm going on a rant now. The women's football pyramid is so hard to find unless you download like the FA's PDF, which I'm not doing. English? Hang on. Women's. You see my brain ticking over now. Football pyramid. Tiers. Right. Because there was a really good graphic when I find it. And this is where everyone's in the chat like, Freya, like no one cares. Can you just hurry up, please? Right. Ha. Can I present? Can I screen share? I can share my screen. That could be dangerous. Let's not, just in case. Not that I've got anything up that I shouldn't, but okay. So we've got the Northern League, Northern and then Southern Premiership. Then you've got Division 1, Southeast, etc. Then Tier 5 are the regional ones. So you've got London and Southeast. And then Southeast counties as well. Why is it all in the Southeast? What's going on here? Yeah, so essentially everyone you go down to. So it's if you look at Southwest South Championship, they're also, no one cares about the North. That's my second thing. Everything is like London centric. Even like all the pathways are just like, yeah, Southern Division. Right.
It's just something I think about daily and just felt we need to share.
It's something we need to discuss. But I will cut it short now. But I will pull something about it because it should
It should be complicated.
It should be easier. Why can't I find it? I've just spent 5 minutes babbling about how the North's not important, how it's all in the South. And then Paul comes along, who didn't want to be on the podcast tonight, saying it's easy.
Oh, well,
no, we do love you, Paul. We know you're busy. Tier 3 is one division, split regionally. Yep. Uses Londoner logic, so anything north of Watford is north, and we Midlanders don't exist. Perfect. There we go. It is simple. There we go. But yeah, essentially anything in the middle, because I've got friends from London who go, yeah, Birmingham's north. And you're like, it's not though, is it? Geographically, it's north from London, but it's not. You wouldn't say Birmingham's north, would you? Like, you just... No. But that's a different podcast. We can rant about that another time. So, yeah, so the Castle by Kistigal, Arsenal, that's where we were. That's what we're talking about. That was a mile away, wasn't it? Yeah, marketing on point. Unfortunately, Chloe, we'll come to the sad news about Hannah Venison. Now, rumours, and again, my friend Mia is very into Italian football. She follows it very closely. And of course, Camilla as well. And they essentially both said, look, there's been some rumours, this might be going on. And then there was a video that Benny was spotted in Turin. Chloe, you may take this moment to have a moment of mourning and explain to the people of the world, aka the chat, why should be missed at Everton.
I'm devastated. It's just really sad, isn't it? Like she's amazing. She's created so much last year, and she's so young as well. Like she's 21, and the power she has, the speed she has, the talent she has. I mean, it pains me to say, but I do think this move is going to be really good for her. Like, I do think it's going to be one of those, like, you know, we saw with Kenza Darley, where it will improve her and she'll get played in the right position, which is always a start. She'll get played right. She'll get played. I mean, she'll get played at Everton, but she'll get played. And I think it'll just take her from strength to strength. So while it is probably the right choice, it doesn't mean that it hurts any less, because I am actually devastated and I'm really, really going to miss her at Wharton Hall Park. But I think she'll do really well at Juventus.
Yeah. I mean, we say it all the time, we're going to have to expand next season into, like, everyone just takes a league, because there are that many incredible players just making massive moves. And Italy, you know, we always say, and we've said it before when Camilla was on the pod, you know, Italy are quite far behind in terms of where you think they should be for the women's game. But the fact that Juve especially like the signings they've had so far already in this window, they're attracting these names because they're pushing for Champions League. They want to get through the qualifiers. They want to be at the top. So they're making some incredible moves with that one. And our Benny is going to be the next one. Because some people have said, haven't they, she hasn't really reached full potential at Everton. But if that's the case, then she's going to be superstar when she finally unleashes it. So we just wanted to take a moment to mourn Benison from Everton. But again, Everton have been quite quiet in terms of rumours and things like that. There's nothing really much going on, is there, Chloe?
There's not, and I'm kind of hoping for a few more. I mean, it's still very early into the transfer window. She says, as a lot of signings have already happened.
Well, because four players have gone, haven't they, from Everton? But which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, it's still early. Still time.
So, and we've had rumours that we're going to sign some players, but it's a difficult situation for our Brian, our lovely Brian.
Our Brian.
I've said it on previous occasions. If you can play football, you are in. I will take someone who can just kick a ball to a teammate. Unlike England the other night, who they kick a ball and they don't know where it's going to end up. You just kick a ball to someone in the same colour. It's not that hard. If you can just kick a ball to someone in blue, then you're in. Go for it to join the team. Because ideally, I'd like some more strikers because we lost our striker. We currently have a lone striker, which isn't ideal. You kind of want a few more than just the lone. That could be quite a good film, couldn't it? For the lone striker, one team struggles.
Striker.
The lone striker.
We need to make a movie trailer for that. It's just the loan.
just one striker that Everton currently have. No, I just think we need players. Just get some players, Brian, please.
Just anyone, please, Brian. Anyone?
Brian, please just get someone in.
Now, as we've been chatting, just having our little moment, we've had loads of questions in the chat. Emma, this one's for you. Ryan would like me to say hello to you. I don't know why he can't say it himself, but hey. That's for you, Ryan. Hope you appreciate it. And then Ballum, you're asking a lot of questions, right? Any we can answer. Let's have a look. What's happening at Charlton? Nope, haven't heard anything. Just looked at my transfer tracker. I do know Rebecca McKenna and Tegan McGowan have signed with Birmingham City, though, so that's where they've gone. But yeah, no news on Charlton apart from their release list. That they did at the beginning of the window. Well, will we get a new WSL winner? Well, it's all up for grabs, to be honest. That's the best thing about women's football. We genuinely do not know. Chelsea are in a period of transition, and so is everyone else. So who knows? But as we know, like every single point counts in the women's game because there are only so few teams really. And just to confirm as well for the championship, because Reading have unfortunately dropped down to tier 5, it does mean that no one's going to replace them in the championship. It will just be 10 teams, 1 promotion, 1 relegation. Then it'll go back to normal the following season for that one. That's the plan at the minute anyway. Sarah's put, Thursday's show has also been expanded to cover more leagues, and all it took was relentless begging the boss to allow it. And he did, and the relentless begging works. So yeah, does that mean we have to relentlessly beg Josh? Or
like every league.
Yeah.
You take France, you take Spain, you take so you take this team, we'll just all have a league.
Yeah, I'll take it, Leah Bagsy it now. Right, okay. Yeah, so that was Everton. Sunderland, my first home, announced that Claudia Morn, Golden Glove winner from last season, is leaving the club. Sounds as though it wasn't really her decision. Again, just allegedly, but it's from what the picture we've been getting, that she didn't really want to leave. And it was more, again, of a situation of, can the club offer her maybe what she wants. Was it less than she was expecting? You know, what's kind of going on with the financial situation. So maybe she'll stay in the Northeast. Maybe she'll go to Newcastle. I really hope she doesn't go to Newcastle. Please don't go to Newcastle, Claudia, if you're watching. Please, please don't go. But yeah, she deserves so much. So any WSL teams who want, you know, a goalie who's going to work really hard and be a fantastic future number one, then please do pick her up if she hasn't been picked up already. But they have actually signed Demi Lambourne, which was a very quick turnaround. So again, was something in the pipeline. That on players. But yeah, so Demi Lambourne from Leicester City. She was on loan to Palace last season, and she was a really good job. So she's a really good replacement, but it's really, really sad that Claudia's gone. Now, got a few big ones coming up. So I tell you what, Emma, we're going to come to you. Aston Villa. Now, just a quick word on the social media. Bit rubbish, isn't it?
Slightly, you know. Have they got a social media team?
I was going to say that delay.
I mean, they were hiring.
They were hiring, I did say, yeah. Well, they need to. There's no one there. It's like tumbleweeds coming across social media. Yeah. We've been pestering, haven't we? Like every day, every week. Been like, anyone? Knock knock. Anyone there? Anyone doing contract? And of course, the news finally came out today that Anna Leeds, our favourite Kiwi, has signed a contract extension just for another year, though.
I thought that was a bit funny.
Another year. But overall, are you happy we've kept our Leety for another year?
Yeah. I had a funny feeling that she was out the door. So when I saw that today, I was like, oh, like, my day's been made. Woo.
I love the lack of emotion behind the woo. Just woo. Lol. Yeah, it's. I'm so glad she signed, and it kind of shows a continuance in the club. Something's happening. They've gone right. We can't lose her, which is brilliant. But yeah, the fact it's only a year. But they stepped up their game from the Jordan Nobbs and Dan Turner announcement, and they did include the words, "We are delighted to announce." That's a step up.
I mean, anything's a step up from that joint message. Like, what even was that?
It was the fact. It was a joint message. There was no emotion in it. And there wasn't like a picture of them signing a new contract or like a shirt or like a way, we're here. Or even like when Lucy Bronze did a thank you video from a beach in Cuba. Like, you can, no matter where you are, you can do like a 30-second happy to stay. Like, but there was just nothing, was there? And it was like, oh.
They did do an appreciation post for her like 2 days after for Jordan.
You just like, I mean, she deserves it anyway, but what? Like, at least put a picture. Oh, I don't know. Sophie's put, I think it's 1 year 10 intern. Yeah, it does. It really feels like it. And yeah, as Chloe's right said, a year is a year. We'll take it. Bit like Everton. Get your boots on. Get playing.
Anyone football? You're in.
Yeah. Have you heard of football? Done.
Do you know what colour your own team is? You're in.
Yeah. Have you heard of a goal? It's this big white thing. Yeah, aim for it. Good.
You're in.
Sophie has said Everton and Villa both in the same sort of financial situation. From what we can gather,
we are.
Yeah. Everton and Villa were kind of like step siblings in a sense, aren't we? We have a very similar background. Love each other, hate each other. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. It's just a very. It's not toxic. It's a very love-hate relationship. More love than hate.
It's great. You win some, you lose some, and then you draw with Arsenal, which is very. Who does that? Not us. Who are we?
It's just what?
We're going to be too big for our boots now. We did that. We drew one game against Arsenal, and we were all like, "Yes, we're going to win the league next season." with delusional England fans, Everton. Yeah, Everton, England get through to the group stage, and everyone goes, "Yeah." The round of 16, I was like, "Yes, coming home." Everton draw against Arsenal. We're like, "We're gonna win the league." Yes, this is it.
Get those big signings in. They're going to be lined up at the door.
It was
Everton now.
we're delusional.
Well, Emma, we quite like being our team Delulu bubble, don't we?
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's a great place to be. Yeah.
No one disturbs me either.
Well, some people won't go into that. But yeah, it's nice and safe in our little bubble. And players don't age. Sorry, Chloe, didn't make speech and go. Right, okay. Yeah, we even share the same players. We do. So many West Ham, Villa. It's just like a circle. It's like, right, we'll play musical players. You have them for a season. We'll have them for 2. You have them back. Let's loan you this one. And even to a certain extent, Villa and West Ham are both claret and blue, aren't they? And it's just sharing everything, really. West Ham's kit came out. Has either of you seen it? New kit?
I have seen it. To be fair, I was a bit disappointed because we all thought it'd be a player signing, but I don't. I've got mixed feelings about it. I'm not sure keen on the badge, the blue and the.
It just feels a bit.
Yeah, I'm a bit underwhelmed.
Yeah,
claret and blue in it.
How many more combinations can you make of claret and blue? I will have to say though, the Spurs away kit's got lots of hate. I actually quite like it with the blue stripes.
I don't mind it. I mean, sometimes I prefer an away kit because, well, a home kit's a bit underwhelming sometimes because you already know what colour it's going to be. Like the Everton kit's just going to be a blue kit in it.
Yeah.
It just depends on whether it's got like a funky design on, but we all know the premises is going to be a blue kit. I'm more excited to see what like our away and our third kit's going to be. That's where you get the funky colours and like the yellows.
Like the training kits. I like the training kits better sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a yellow training kit this one. And I'm like, yes. I love yellow.
We're all gonna buy it and look like big buttercups next time we go to a game. Just see us in yellow on the FA player.
Cute.
What was I going to say? I have no idea. No idea where that thought process was going. You are welcome. Right. So that was that one. We've talked about Villa. But yeah, Villa essentially need so many players like Everton. So please, Rob. Villa have got a new manager. We didn't have one last week.
Oh yeah, how did we forget about that?
The big one we've all been waiting for. So this is Mr. Robert DePau. And by the looks of it, got a good record. Emma, I don't know if you've done a deep dive into him in his record.
No,
have you?
I did a brief one.
I read his name. Thought he sounded all right.
It looks impressive.
To be fair, he's got a nice face. And a lot can be said for a nice smile. So I'm right.
Yeah.
Emma, what do you think about some people were like, it needs to be a woman. Why is it not a woman? Do you have an opinion about the gender of a coach? What's your thoughts and feelings?
Not really. I thought it was going to be a woman because there was lots of women in the pipeline. So I was like, oh, okay. But then, do you know what? If he does his job and he seems like he's got his head screwed on, so that's all we need, to be fair. Last week we didn't have a manager, so I'll take it.
Exactly. Again, have you had a job? Good. Do you know what football is? Lovely. Come on in. We'll take him. But yeah, that's the thing. It's very much you can say, oh, we need to grow the women's game. We need a female manager, blah, blah, blah. And, Carla was phenomenal. Like that'll never, we'll never get better than Carla. And Mahirs is phenomenal. All of these women coming through, but the pool is just not enough to have a constant supply of really good female coaches. So yes, you can say, oh, it's another male coach in the game, but if he's a good coach, I genuinely don't care. Really don't care. As long as there are still the facilities in place for women to be trained and developed if they want to, fine. But yeah, I'm quite happy with Robert DePau. Yeah, I think Chloe tried to say if we can coach us up to top 6. I think that's what I'm meant to say. But yeah, top 6 finish. That'd be quite nice. Us and Everton, Villa and Everton, just next to each other, as it should be. In the middle there. Now we have tried to say Robert Topaz, Claret and Blue Army. Maybe I have to say it a bit quick, but I think we'll do it better than Elizabeth Gunnarsdottir is Claret and Blue Army. It's got less syllables. Quite happy about that. That might be a tongue twister on match day. Now, after the tongue twister, let's have a look. Let's go to United, shall we? Now, good old Man United. They're in a bit of a pickle at the minute. Which could be putting it nicely, couldn't it? They've also announced today, I don't know if you saw, they're making 250 staff redundant. Did we see this?
I didn't.
No. And you can guarantee whose side is it going to affect first? The women's. Yeah.
Surprise.
You can just see it coming, can't you? Obviously, nothing's been confirmed that I'm aware of. Again, if anyone in the chat has some more details. But yeah, you can just already tell it's going to be the women's side. There was also a very interesting article by Charlotte Harper on The Athletic. Now, she did this. And again, thank you to Sophie for sending it to me. I think it was about half an hour before we went live. She posted that actually what United have done, they've booked out St. George's Park for 2 to 3 weeks for the female players to use it as a base while they're getting everything set up, because apparently like the porta cabins, etc., all need time to be set up and it hasn't been done. So they don't know if they're going to be using it, but they booked it as a just in case, which to be fair, that shows forward thinking. So not totally mad at it. But yeah, so instead of players commuting obviously there every day from Manchester would be horrible. They will be using the facilities, including staying over, etc. If they do it. Chloe, what do you think? The fact that they're having to get another facility, another facility for the women's team. Just what is happening?
It's I don't mean to laugh, but it's so laughable. Like this is something that feels made up, but
just keeps it feels made up. Just keeps piling on.
If I didn't know this was like true, like we had discussed it, then I'd be like, you are genuinely like having me on, and it's literally like what 2 and a bit hours away as well, and it's just ridiculous. The women's team deserve better. Like they deserve so much better than this. This whole thing is just absolutely is laughable. The only word I can say is laughable. Like it's not funny, but you just can't help but go.
Like if you don't laugh, you'll cry. It's a very much that situation. Emma, what's your thoughts on all of the United debacle that's going on at the minute?
I mean, it's better than a porta cabin, but it's like, why is it like 2 hours away or something like that? Like, you've got to add that onto your day. It's just like,
well, that's the thing. So if they do go, they will be staying over, so they'll be using the hotel and using like that as a base for the amount of time that the porta cabins then get set up. So they'll be going back to the porta cabins. So I think, so again, if anyone else has read the article and I've interpreted wrong, let us know. But essentially it's for this period of time, especially for pre-season, like everything's kicking in, like this kind of preparation time, then St. George's Park can be used by the team and stay over, use that as a base for a few weeks until the porta cabins are all set up. And then they'll continue as normal once the season starts. And before the season starts, back in the porta cabins.
an upgrade, but a downgrade, and then an even more downgrade. Like, yes, St. George's Park is amazing because obviously the England squad use it, so the facilities must be amazing.
Yeah.
But then to have to go back to the porta cabins, it's just like an initial dread because that's all you'll be thinking about is the porta cabins.
Yeah, oh, St George's Park is stunning. Like I've been a couple of times, and it's lush. Like the facilities, the hotel, all the pitches. Like St George's Park is absolutely stunning. But it's just such a down. Oh, it shouldn't be happening.
It's kind of dangling and like, this is what you could have if we put some money into the women's game, but this is what you've been given.
If we cared about the women's team, this is what you could do. Instead, we'll give your beautiful training facility to the men. It's like, it's not on.
That's not us at all. I just feel sorry for them. It's the fact that they've lost, like Katie Zellam's gone. Like the impact of Katie Zellam, club captain, one of the OGs, like she was there. She left to go back to when they were in the championship. Like she did everything she could by the club and still feels like she needs to leave. Like that's mad. But Mary Earps, the rumor that's been rumoring for about, I don't know, 2 seasons now, has finally left. She's gone to PSG. She looked so happy, didn't she, in her announcement video? And you just think, yeah, out of England, away from all that toxicity. Someone did ask her, can we ask you about the United situation? And she said, look, I've still got friends there. I've still got players there. I've literally just left. It's not the time. It's not my place to comment. And fair play to her. Because as we've seen about announcements and statements, it can get very messy very quickly, can't it?
But did you see her statement, her goodbye saying the club is in a place where I can facilitate right now?
Like they don't align with my values or something.
Yeah, and that was interesting. Yeah. I was a bit like reading that, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's get the word in. Hang on.
That could literally mean anything. Like, it's like, oh, it's a bit interesting to read, Merps. What you're saying here?
Yeah, so it was. Oh, look at all the PSG things. Don't know where it's gone now. Well, it's not on a pinned anymore. I'll tell you that much. Okay, blah blah blah. Oh yeah. The bit that got me was after, so it was Dear United family, after 5 years of service to your club, your great club, I've decided, I thought, that's a bit of the wording. So she says, I haven't made it lightly. I've gone backwards and forwards. The club is about to undergo a period of transition. And unfortunately, I don't feel it aligns with the timing of where I'm at in my career. Therefore, I think now is the right time to make a change and embark on a new challenge. But she's absolutely right. She's 31, I believe. Yeah. And she said, look, at the end of the day, I need to, I'm in my prime, essentially. Like, this is the time I need to push. I need to be going. I can't afford to have the years if something goes wrong. And fair play to her, to be honest. PSG are a cracking side. So again, we'll be watching more French football next season. We'll just be 10 screening it with all the different leagues on, trying to catch up with what's going on. But yeah, so Mary Earps has gone to PSG, and they've signed Dominic Janssen from Wolfsburg. As you all know, if you watch the podcast quite regularly, none of us are promoting a move to United for anyone. So we kind of just all went, Dominic, no, don't go to United. But I mean, phenomenal player. So if it was, any other team, be happy for them. Did we all see the photo? The photo.
It's so bad.
Of her signing her contract.
Oh,
now.
It's so awful.
As you can tell by our reactions. So if you haven't seen it, so essentially, so talking about AI earlier, Chloe, as well. Hard to say my accent, AI. Man United announced Dominic Janssen with an AI-generated image.
I saw that.
Of, welcome to Manchester, Dominic. And everyone kind of went, so you haven't got a picture of her in a shirt. You haven't got a video of her walking towards Old Trafford or just something. It's a computer-generated image saying welcome to. And I can kind of see where they were coming from, because it's very much that was the Merps mural of her on the side of the wall. It was very, I know they were going for that aesthetic, but not as your welcome signing, this is a fantastic player, get her in the team, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, everyone kicked off on Twitter. And then the picture. For people who haven't seen it, I'll just get it up so I can describe it to you, because it's something. So it was a picture that everyone was asking for. Now, it's very much, and I don't know where this is. How would you all describe it? Where she is?
The porta cabins.
I'm thinking underground bunker. For this one, Emma, what was your reaction to this?
I thought they were in the porta cabin.
It does. It genuinely does. Right, I'm going to have to apologies for the mess in the background because we are redecorating, but I just need to take this off so I can show you. Right, so this is the picture for everyone who hasn't seen it before. There's like a random, like it's the sign, but it's the glare off the camera and it's the sad expression behind the eyes. Like it's just a very bizarre contract signing place for it to be. Like I don't know. I just don't know. But initially I thought, that's from like Dominic's like Instagram, like she's taking a picture and being like, hey, I'm here, take it. But it came from the actual official website account saying next chapter. And it just looks like, like someone's just thrown a table in, thrown like a vinyl of the club, like quick, make it look professional, but like hasn't been taken by a professional because there shouldn't be that much glare in the picture. Sophie's absolutely right. Is it in the kit cupboard? Probably, yeah. Or the ball store. It's somewhere underground. That's all I can take from this picture. Matthew could be in the canteen. There's just something not right about it, and I don't like it. And I don't know. Yeah, Chloe, it looks just such like a random, like, what can we do? We need a picture. Everyone's kicking off. What can we do to appease the fans? But yeah, it's just very bizarre. So we wish her the best. Of course we do. United, the players there, I think she'll find a good team with those players. And let's just hope that whatever happens, the team kind of stick together, because as we've seen, the higher ups don't care, managers questionable, but as long as the players kind of stick together and have that ethic, then they're gonna keep fighting for each other. But it'll be very interesting where Katie Zellum goes, because I haven't heard any rumours. Anyone else?
No, I haven't. Everton.
Hey, again, bring her in.
We need players.
Bring her through the door. In fact, bring your friends. Bring the rest of the team. Come on. Come on in. Now, we are about to talk about Lucy Bronze. That will be our last thing this evening. Any other transfers that we haven't mentioned that anyone's excited about? Or in the chat, if we haven't mentioned anything apart from Lucy Bronze, let us know. Liverpool. Katie's all about to Liverpool. Yeah.
Oh, I could see that, to be fair.
I could see that. Yeah. Did we talk about Man City yet? No, because they haven't done anything. Typical Jamaica. You asked that question. No, they haven't done anything. I haven't heard apart from the initial departures at the beginning of the window. So, Chelsea, let's talk about it as a whole. So rumours came out, a while ago now about Lucy Bronze. And then it came out that they were doing a double signing from Barcelona. It was going to be Julia Partel, who, hang on, I'll get all my stats up. So I'm sure she's a midfielder. I think. Have I just made that up? Hang on. Just get me transfer tracker up. Hang on. Chelsea midfielder. Yep, we're good. So Judy Bartel, really young talent from Barcelona, plays for the Spanish national team as well. So you can see why Chelsea brought her in. No one's been mad about that. In fact, no one's even mentioned it. Okay, apart from the official signing. The thing that I'm going to say online Chelsea fans, because on Twitter, again, as everyone probably already knows, there's groups of fans who are unfortunately the loudest, and they don't necessarily represent the whole fan group. So I'm just putting that out there as a disclaimer. There is a large group of Chelsea fans who are hating on our Lucy, and we're not going to stand for it, to be honest. Now, we as a pod, and Simon takes the mick all the time, we are fully Lucy Bronze stands, but in the best possible way. We're not, I mean, we are delusional, but we like to err on the side of caution. We know how phenomenal she is as a player. We accept she may possibly be getting older. Possibly. There's no proof. Chloe, straight no from Chloe. Good. But there is a lot of hate going on right now on Twitter about that. And I quote here, she's washed up and useless. I was like, have you seen her play? Like, when you get to a player of that standard, she makes mistakes. We've all said she's not perfect. She's close, but she's not perfect. Every player will have those moments. Okay. And Sophie's, but Lucy Bronze does not believe she's aged a day since 24. I don't believe she. That's a well-known fact, Sophie. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, but I think because we hold her to such a high standard, when she does make a mistake, everyone goes, wait, she's made a mistake. It's like, yes, but come on. Like, you can make a mistake. It's human. It's fine. Chloe, when you first heard the news that she's possibly signing for Chelsea on a free, what was kind of your reaction?
Well, I literally make no secret about the fact that Lucy Bronze is probably like my favorite player of all time. Like, she is legit the reason I got into women's football in the first place. So I kind of owe her everything. So it's absolutely no secret that I'm absolutely buzzing that she's potentially like coming back to the UK. She's coming back to Chelsea. I'm all for it. I think she'll do really well at Chelsea. You know, she's got quite a good connection with some of the other players. Like, she's really good mates with Lauren James. She obviously knows Millie Bry as well from the England setup, and what she did for Barcelona last season, like game in, game out, she was just phenomenal. I mean, her stats alone say everything that needs to be said. I mean, yeah, she sometimes can give the ball away, but who doesn't? Like, name me a player who hasn't made a mistake. Exactly. Like literally everyone makes mistakes, and she does make a couple, but she makes up for them because she is just, I just think she's an exceptional player anyways, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she's going to do at Chelsea, and I'm fully here for it. Already planning on going to all the games when they come up north to Manchester, to Liverpool. I'm gonna be there. A little shirt, a little sign, like, love you. I love her. I'm so excited.
So I'm getting the hint that you really like this deal.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Really subtle, like, moment. Yeah. Now, Matthew in the chat. I'm a Chelsea fan. Oh, we've got a Chelsea fan. Okay. And I'm excited about Lucy Bronze coming to Chelsea. Good. You see sense. Yes, she wouldn't be my first choice. You've lost us. But you can't deny a talent in winning Champions Leagues. That's what we need. Yeah. And Simon, again, look, as I said before, she's a phenomenal player. You don't play for the clubs and win as many England caps as she has if you're not really good. Yeah, absolutely. She throws her heart into every game I've seen her play. Yeah. And the fact, she has made mistakes, and we've talked about it till the cows come home. It's maybe because she's playing out of a position because there's a gap and she's trying to fill it, and she's trying to do the work of the whole pitch. And yes, sometimes it does go wrong and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you can't deny the wealth of talent that she has and the experience that she can bring to Chelsea. Emma, what's your feelings on this?
So at first, I didn't believe it. I was like, no, she wouldn't go to Chelsea. Like, I don't think that's the team for her. And I genuinely thought that the only WSL team she'd probably go back to was City. But then, would she get the game time that she wants there? But then again, would she get the game time at Chelsea? Because they've got so many incredible players that they'd have to rotate. I mean, I'm excited for her, but is it the team for her? I'm not sure.
And I think this was my issue as well. And I was talking to Sophie about it. I was like, at the end of the day, she could go anywhere, couldn't she? You know, she's won pretty much all of it. I think the only thing she hasn't won, I don't think Germany and Italy and Portugal as well. But out of like the main leagues, she's kind of been there, done that. And I was kind of thinking, well, Chelsea, yeah, maybe go back to win Champions League with another club. Maybe that's the appeal of it. But ultimately, you know, she's won the WSL. She's, you know, she's what is she gaining by Chelsea? Because the rumour is, again, nothing's been announced. There's still hope she goes somewhere else. I joke, of course. It's going to be for a 2-year deal with another year option. And a lot of the hate online is saying she's already 33. What are you giving her a 2-year contract for plus an extension? You should be giving that to someone younger, blah, 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 blah. Rubbish, I say to those people. Oh, but Simon's come back to his senses. One of the mistakes she makes regularly is wearing socks that are far too big for her, which is why she's messing them around with them so much. It helps her focus. Let's give it to her. Why not? Now, as we've been talking about this as well, the lovely Rosie, who's also on the podcast, did send. It was like a statement through, wasn't it? Because she wanted her thoughts on it as well, coming from being a Chelsea supporter. So let me have a look. So she says, I'm not on today, but I do want to say my piece on Lucy Bronze. So this is from Rosie, just in case you missed that one. She says, signing a player of Lucy Bronze's calibre and considering how much they're paying her, Chelsea will need to play Lucy a lot, whether she regularly starts over Niamh or not. This means one fullback is likely leaving for Chelsea to even be interested in signing another. My guess would be Eve Perisset, as she wouldn't be playing over Lucy and hasn't been getting regular minutes recently anyway. In terms of Lucy as a player, Rosie, yes, she is past her prime. And I was still...
How dare you?
Maybe that's why I just said it on text and not on the pod.
I take Lucy Bronze very seriously in case we didn't know.
Okay, deep breath. I'm like burning as I say these words, by the way. Where's she going? I would still choose to start Niamh Charles over her, but she will be a substantial addition to the squad. Chelsea have lost quite a few experienced players over the years and are lacking in that department. Lucy brings years of playing experience, particularly in the Champions League, and also put in some brilliant performances against us recently. She is also very competitive and has such a substantial drive to win that can be seen in many Chelsea players. One thing in common with all Chelsea players is that competitive win at all cost mindset, and Lucy brings that. She's aware her speed isn't the same as some younger players and trains 10 times harder to make up for it. Off the pitch, she will drive other players to work harder and can lead them on the pitch too. I wouldn't expect her contract to be very long, possibly a year or two. So worst case, she won't play much and leave. No, that's what you want. You're allowed to dislike Lucy as a player or a person, but there's no denying she'll be able to drive this team to new levels and is a brilliant addition. Now, so that's come from Rosie. And I see there's some hate coming up in the chat as well. We're going to ignore you because you're not bringing negativity into our lives. Thank you very much. Now, the thing is, so Michael, welcome. I'm going to come with you here. Bronze flag quality and experience for Chelsea is very simple. The hate is because she's coming to Chelsea. Yeah. And that's the big thing. It's very much when you look at players, and especially in the men's game as well, there's very much a culture of like being a traitor or being loyal and all of these things. Like we don't have that in the women's game because it's not big enough to, you know, if you go to a club, they're paying you, you're getting a contract. Like it's a job at the end of the day. But the fact is, Lucy is such an incredible player on and off the field. And we've all seen that over years, like a mentor, like the way she's mentored LJ, like all that she can do for the younger generation as well. And yet, to be honest, I personally, and I've said this on Twitter as well, I personally don't think Chelsea is the right move. I couldn't see her anywhere else. I was hoping for Italy. I thought she was going to, smash the charts over there. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one. And I'm really interested to see it because one of the assistant coaches was a coach when she was at Lyon. So I think that's that link there that they've kind of said, look, do you want to come over? Are you interested? What can we do? And I know I've just seen that too, Chloe. So she's such a substantial player. There are only a handful of teams that she would be suitable to go to, really. As much as we joke about Villa and Everton, well, why not? To be honest,
she started. Well, she didn't. She started. I don't know. She was at Everton. She was there for a period, so she could go back.
Exactly. My dream is that she'll come back to Sunderland and retire. That's kind of the dream.
Don't use your word for Lucy.
Okay, she'll come back to Sunderland and play forever.
Or Dr. Bronze, as we are now calling her.
Yes, Dr. Bronze, honorary doctorate. Yes. I mean, is there anything that woman can't do?
Have working knees.
Well. So that's what I was thinking as well, because as we all know, and as we've seen for England, Lucy is more often than not heavily strapped up, heavily ice packed. So
doing anything.
You know exactly what I'm on about. But it's because Serena plays at every 90. Barcelona, she does get a rest here and there at Barcelona. But again, she's usually playing the majority of the time. So with the move to Chelsea and the amount of rotation they did have under Emma Hayes, I think that will be a good system so she can still have the high levels of kind of rest, recovery, nutrition, blah, 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 that she needs, but she also gets time to rest. And that the knee can then, the minutes she does have, it can be, oh, there's our Lucy. Like, it can be that rather than, she's going to get injured again. Because, again, it's at that tipping point of another long-term injury. Won't happen because she's bionic. But if it were to happen, it's now at a time where she can't really afford that other long-term injury. So I'm thinking she wants to win Champions League with another team. I think that's kind of the main goal here. But yeah, if she can get that rest for a knee, but still play to highest ability, I just want her to be happy. That's all I want. But yeah, I didn't see her come back to England, to be fair. I didn't see that on the cards at all. Simons, but people are just jealous she's not going to their club. As a follower of the Chelsea women's team, I love that she's signing for them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Matthew, can't wait to see you linking up with LJ and Sam Kerr. Can you imagine?
That is gonna be sensational.
It's gonna be. I mean, I'll never buy a Chelsea shirt.
I mean,
but a bronze shirt. I mean, we're all wearing them again. If you missed it earlier, we're all wearing our bronze shirts in honor of her. But really excited to be back in WSL. As people know, I've gone to Barcelona the last 2 seasons in the hope, and she hasn't played at the time. So I'm just a curse, really, to be honest. What? Why not buy a Chelsea shirt? If you've been watching a while, Matthew, I got loads of stick for owning more than one club shirt. So, but a bit scared to post myself with another shirt at this point. But yeah, no, maybe I will. Why not? We'll see. But yeah, just looked at the chat. Sensible guesses, please. That's definitely not a sensible one. Yeah, she's only certain, like we said, only certain clubs she was ever going to go to. Because it was tipped NWSL. That was likely for it to go to. But I just think there's nothing really to win in the NWSL, is there? Like compared to everything in Europe and everything. Like I know they've got the Shields, I know they've got all the cups and stuff, but does it really compare?
I mean, I wouldn't say the NWSL is that competitive either, because there's only the one league. Like, no one gets relegated. There's fights, but there's no like actual like. It's a bit meaningless, if you get what I mean. Like, there's no relegation. There's no going up or down. There's just a winner. And this time it's looking like the Orlando Pride. So.
But they're actually have we all seen this? There's going to be a USL next year, and it's the have I just made that up? The Super League, United Super League, I believe. And a couple of players from the WSL have actually gone over. It's like Tasha Flint has gone, Jade Moo has gone to Tampa Bay, and they're going to be in the essentially the equivalent of the championship. It was meant to start last year, I believe, but there were some delays. And then so it's going to be launching this season. So again, the American system's expanding as well. But there's a beautiful number 8 red and white shirt waiting for you, Freya. Oh, is there now? All right, okay. I'm just my collection's normally behind me, isn't it? So I'll just have to keep expanding one side with all of these players that I'm following all over the world with that one. There was also one more, Melanie Leupolz as well. She's been confirmed. She's leaving Chelsea and going to Real Madrid, another team that. Affectionately known as Gracias FC the other week, because it seemed like they were saying goodbye to everyone, including the Kitman. But yeah, they're signing. Philippa Angeldal's gone over there. They've just announced Leupolz. They're really recruiting. They're really going for it. And I think, if Barca players are starting to be distributed a little bit, maybe Real Madrid's got a shot at closing in on them this season. So yeah, we're just gonna have to expand, aren't we? Just gonna have to do it. The show next season is gonna be for all these leagues. So yeah, if anyone's got a particular league they wanna follow, do give us a shout, and we'll do it. Now, I think that might be everything. Oh, last one. What do we think about Viv to Man City? Because that's apparently getting closer and closer and closer. Emma, what do you think? Is it a good move?
It'll give Bunny Shaw someone to pair up with, because as we saw when Bunny Shaw got injured, they couldn't really do anything. They couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
That's true.
That was a struggle for them. So having a backup striker would be good, but would she get the game time she wants?
Well, I was thinking
maybe
Bunny Shaw up front, and then Viv and Joe Road behind.
Oh, hello!
How incredible would that be?
Hello.
I mean, City next season. I mean, I predicted them to win last season, and that nearly came true. So yeah, my back City. This next one. Matthews, but I still think she should do Team Chaos Viv and join Spurs.
Oh, God, could you imagine?
Oh God, could you imagine
the hate she'd receive? Like when Alex Greenwood went from United to City, despite having a year at Lyon in between that nobody remembered. They just saw her as going from United to City, and it was like that will happen. She'll just get hate for joining the rival. She's like,
well, she's getting hit already, isn't it? And it's like, look, at the end of the day, if a contract couldn't be agreed, she can't stay. She can't just keep turning up every day and be like, can I train?
She's got to do and at the end of the day, she's got to do what's best for her. Like the Sam Mewis podcast came out, was it today?
Yeah.
And she was saying that
Yeah.
No, it was a mutual agreement that she didn't want to renew the contract. She was close to leaving in January, and she wants to go somewhere else, and that's fair enough. And I think she is going to enjoy it at City, and I think I'm going to enjoy watching her at City. Like, I just think it's a good move for her. She's got a couple of Dutchies as well to have a chat to.
Be a new lease of life, and just get her enjoyment playing back. Because we've seen it even like joining up with the Netherlands squad and just kind of being that squad player. And already she's like, it's almost like she's breathing a sigh of relief, just like I'm back, I can come back. And that's the thing. Sometimes, again, in a job, you just come to your natural end of, okay, this isn't right for me anymore. I should know I change jobs roughly every 2 to 3 years because I get to that point. But yeah, it's very much let her be. Like, it's nothing to do with, oh, she's gone to a rival to spite you. She's gone to a rival because she's Champions League worthy, because she wants to win titles, because she's Viviana Miedema. Like, can we just take a minute? Like, she's not going to go to, West Ham, but she's not going to go to West Ham. Like, she's not going to go to a championship club. Like, she's going to, again, like Lucy, there's only a certain amount of teams that she would probably consider going to, and City's the best option because she wants to stay in England. Although, did you see she did consider Europe kind of in general?
Yeah.
She was considering it. So City clearly gave her the best option. But yeah, wish her all the best with that one. And I think she's going to do a really good job. But yeah, if people could just stop with like the insane hate like online when it's not necessary, like when it's so unfounded in any truth and just personal vendetta, like there's no need. We can all criticize, we can all fairly criticize. We do it on the pod. I know we all joke about, Lucy Bronson's perfect, but we also acknowledge if there's any mistakes. But it's very fair with what we do. So yeah, so if not that anyone in the chat are these people, but if you see it, just kind of ignore them, let them scream into the void, and just they're not part of our community. People who go on like that. So I believe that brings us to the end, everyone. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to everyone in chat. It's been really active tonight, so thank you so much. The transfer window, of course, is going on until September, I believe. I've got the date on here. Bear with. 13th September, it's going on to. So we've still got loads and loads of shows to talk about. And of course, we're going to have some international news very soon as well, aren't we? Because the Lionesses are back very, very soon indeed. I think, are they playing a behind closed doors friendly tomorrow?
Tomorrow against speaking of Viviane Miedema.
Right. Speaking of the Dutch. And then they're coming, again, they've gone to the Netherlands to play a friendly, to come back to play against Ireland. And then they're going over to Sweden. Because why not? But we're reducing travel time, guys. We're reducing travel time. But yeah, so we'll have some international news for you next week as well. So let's do the shout outs before I forget. Bear with. This one. Ta-da! If you have liked what you see tonight, of course, please do follow us. It's not just on a Wednesday, but it's also Mondays for the Premier League action and Thursdays for Lower League as well. And if you'd like to share, subscribe, follow, donate, why not? I don't know what you can do these days. Here is where you can do it. So Twitter, we're very active at Absolute Ball Pod. YouTube, as most of you found us here at Absolute Football Podcast. Same for Twitch as well, and for TikTok. Instagram is Absolute Football Podcast _. Same for Threads, if anyone uses that. And of course, Facebook, the Absolute Football Podcast. Now, thank you very much, my two panelists. We have been Team Chaos. We always are on a Wednesday. Chloe, thank you so much for having a stable internet connection. And thanks for joining us. If people would like to follow you a bit more, where can they do so?
So I am on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at ChloeBear529.
Look, have I ever asked you where Chloe Bear came from?
You haven't, but it was what my nanny used to call me. She used to call me Chloe Bear, and it just kind of stuck as a little nickname.
Yeah, Yeah, that's that. Yeah. Oh, Clover. Simon, we'll miss you next week. Who's gonna rib us for our Lucy Bronze love? Who's who's gonna do that? Someone else in the chat. You're gonna have to take over. But do have a good holiday there. Chloe's put Team Chaos at their finest. Of course, we'd never let you guys down, would we? Emma from the chat. Thank you so much for joining us again. Thank you for coming back. Have you enjoyed it again?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anytime. Now, I couldn't tag you earlier for some bizarre reason, but if people would like to follow more of you, where can they do so?
I'm going to point.
Hey, she got it
right. On Twitter and Instagram _MaHW_ and TikTok, I don't know, but find me.
You're there somewhere. You're somewhere in the void. Absolutely. And if you want to see more of my rantings and ravings as well, I'm at Freya Writes on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, I believe. And also, I do run the whole 115 yards, and we have a transfer tracker for the Super League and for the Women's Championship as well. I try to update it as and when, which is usually pretty quick, but follow us on Twitter as well. And I'll do live updates on there as a thread. So if you do want to catch up with all of the latest news, do check in on there. So thank you so much to everyone in the chat. We absolutely love having you. Thank you for interacting. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you again next Wednesday at 8:30. So goodbye. Thank you very much.